स्वाध्याय टीवी। डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Namaskar. I, Dr. Himanshu Patel, welcomes you all from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University on the 5th session of Android application development series. In last lecture, we have discussed project structure for Android application, how Android organize your code into different folders in your package. We have also discussed how to customize our code editor, that means how to show on the fly help when you move mouse over any coding area. Then how to auto complete your code, that we have also discussed, and we have also discussed some important terminology like context, activity, intent, notification, etc. We have also discussed what is activity, how activity is stored in memory, and what are the different life cycle methods for the activity like on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy, etc. In today's lecture, we will discuss user interface overview. What are the different user interface available for application development, then how to organize your user interface using layouts. Then we discuss some input control by which user can interact with these input controls, and what are the different types of event available for these input controls such as button, text field, checkbox, radio button, spinner, etc. We also discussed event listener, which are nothing but interface which handles these different types of events for the input controls. We start by overview of user interface. Any control or interface element in Android app is built using view and view group object. Any control that you seen on screen is either view or view group object. These are the two classes defined in Android package which is responsible for all the user interface elements. So, by extending these view and view group class, you can create different types of user interfaces. So, view is an object that draws something on the screen that the user can interact with. It is a primary means of providing interaction with user. So, any control is a subclass of view class, or we can say any control is object of type view. Normally, we organize controls using different layouts. So, these layouts are a view group, and view group is an object that holds other view, and which may be view group also, because you can have one layout inside another layout. View group is a place that holds other views or controls, and it defines the layout of the interface. So, we can say for any user interface two classes are there, one is view and another is view group. View group is used to organize other view and view groups. Let us look at one figure to understand more clearly. So, these figures shows a view hierarchy which defines your user interface layout. Top is the view group which is highlighted by dark color. So, inside view group there may be other view group as well as a view. Consider example of calculator. Topmost layer is a layout which is represented by view group, and there may be other view group which is used to organize your button and text input. So, in view group there may be view as well as other view group also, which in turn may be used to organize other views. We can say any user interface, top is a view group, and inside that there may be view or as well as a view group. Now, user interface component. All the time you need not to build all of your user interface using view and view group object, but Android provides several application component that offer standard user interface layout, for which you simply need to define the content. For example, action bar, dialogues and status notification, etc. For example, I want to display message that whether user want to really exit from the app or not, then I need not to define entire the user interface, but I just create one dialog, and inside that dialog I have to just provide types of button that I want to display or text message for that dialog box, and I can quickly create these interface. So, action bar, dialog box, notification messages, all these are ready made user interface that you can use to build your application. The next is a layout. As we discussed earlier, a layout defines the visual structure for a user interface, such as the user interface for an activity or app widgets. Now, layout is used to organize your controls or views. So, how to define layout? There are two ways in which you can declare your user interface layout. One is you can define your user interface element in XML file directly, or you can create or instantiate layout elements at runtime programmatically. Now, your application can create view and view group object programmatically. So, one is a design time user interface creation and another is runtime user interface creation. Now, what are the advantage of defining your user interface in XML or at runtime? Now, we compare these two. So, there are certain advantages associated with XML definition. Suppose you define your user interface in XML, then what are the advantage? First is your code is in Java file, your presentation or user interface is in XML file. So, there is a better separation of the presentation of your application from the code that controls its behavior. You can quickly modify your XML file without disturbing your code. So, you can modify or adapt it without having to modify your source code and recompile, because there is a separate file for Java code which is Java file, and there is a separate file for user interface which is XML file, and you are defining entire your user interface in your XML file. So, there is a better separation of code and presentation, and that is why it is easy to modify your user interface without disturbing your code. So, it is easier to visualize the structure of your user interface. So, easier to debug problem. So, if you define user interface code into Java file, then you have not these advantage, because your presentation and coding is mixed in Java file. So, it is very difficult to manage the code and presentation, because they are now merged into a single file. So, it is recommended that you define your user interface layout into XML file only. Now, let us look at the XML file, how to define your layout. Here you can see the first line specifies the XML version and encoding or character set that we are used to define our layout file, which is a XML file for our user interface. Topmost line is specify the layout. So, we will look at the different types of layout later on in this session, but right now our XML file using linear layout, and next XML NS specify the namespace that we are using for writing XML. So, here first we define topmost layout, which is a view group. Inside that we define one text view and button. You can see next element is a text view. First attribute of this text view is a ID, which is specified by @ id/text. So, your text view name is a text, then you define width and height and text for the text view. Next you define one button with ID button, and you specify width and height as well as a caption for the button, which is a hello I am button. So, whenever you load these layout in your activity, it shows one text view with caption hello I am text view, and next it shows one button with caption hello I am button. So, this is a sample example of how to define your layout using XML. Here you specify every control name and attributes for that control. Later on we discuss these attributes and control in very much detail, but right now you can have idea how to layout file is defined to arrange your controls. Now, we define layout which has a one text view and button. Now, how to load these layout file into activity? So, we have already discussed Android activity life cycle. So, onCreate is a method which immediately calls whenever you start your activity. So, inside onCreate we call one method called setContentView, and inside it we specify r.layout.main_layout. So, here main_layout is the file name which is XML file we discussed previously. For your reference I just showing that file once again. So, this is our welcome.main_layout.xml file, and these file we specify inside this activity code inside onCreate method. So, whenever these activity starts, it shows this interface with one text view and one button. So, to load the XML layout resources, we use setContentView method, which takes reference to that layout file which we have created in XML, and whenever these activity starts, it initially shows screen with one text view and one button. So, this is how we can load our layout file for the activity. You can specify layout parameters. Now, what is layout parameters? Layout parameter contains property types that define the size and position for each child view as appropriate for the view group. Using layout parameter, we can specify the size, position, or how child view are organized inside main view group. So, parent view group define layout parameters for each child view, including the child view group. For example, here we have linear layout. So, in linear layout we can arrange component either horizontally or vertically. So, below it is a relative layout and other two views. So, how these three parameters relative layout, view and another view is organized inside linear layout is defined by the linear layout, and whatever the views available below relative layout is organized as per the layout parameter specified by relative layout. So, we can say parent view group defines layout parameter. Parent decides how it want to organize its child component. So, we use this layout parameter to organize our controls which are the child controls of the view group control. So, now let us look at common layouts. So, first in screen you can see linear layout. So, linear layout either arrange component in single horizontal or vertical row. In figure you can see it organize three component into vertical or side by side. We can have a component which may be horizontally row by row. So, linear layout either organize all the its child as a vertical align or side by side or row by row. So, you can use these layout to organize children into single horizontal or vertical row, and it creates scroll bar if the length of the window exceeds the length of view. So, whenever you want to organize in column or row format, you can use this layout. Another is relative layout. So, as its name suggests, relative layout enables you to specify the location of child object relative to each other. For example, child A to the left of child B or at the bottom of or top of the child A. So, this is how its organized control relative to each other. So, relative layout is used to organize controls relative to each other, and another layout you can see on the screen is a web view. So, web view is a layout that is used to display web pages. There are other layouts such as a table layout is also there, which is used to organize your component in a table format, which consists of row and columns also. But right now these are the examples of common layouts that we can use to organize our controls. Now, we can have a layout with an adapter. So, when the content for your layout is dynamic or not predetermined, you can use layout that is subclass of adapter view to populate the layout with views at runtime from a source such as an array or database query using adapter class. Now, suppose I have a list of countries stored into a database and that I want to display as a list. So, what can I do is I can use list view and I can fill this list view with adapter that bridges the gap between data, or it fetches the data from database and populate into list view. Suppose I have a images path stored into database and I want to display all these images as a gallery view. So, what I can do is I can use grid view to fetch images path stored into database and display that images into a grid view. So, building layout with an adapter is used to populate content which is not fixed or which is very dynamic and either stored into array or database. So, we can have layouts such as list view as well as grid view to fetch data or fetch and populate data into predefined format, but the content is a dynamic. For example, list view is, as its name suggests, used to display a list. Grid view displays data into grid or row column format, but the data that comes is a dynamic. So, you can use either layout or layout with an adapter to populate or display your data. Is it possible to nest layout? We see in previous figure that we can have view group inside view group. Layout are nothing but a view group. So, is it possible in Android to have one layout inside another layout? So, you can nest one or more layouts within another layout to achieve your user interface design. You should strive to keep your layout hierarchy as shallow as possible. Nesting is always allowed, but according to recommendation you should avoid nesting of layout, because it impacts the performance your application. If there is a more nesting of layouts, then there is a possibility that your application performance degrades. So, your layout grows faster if it has a fewer nested layouts. It means a wide view hierarchy is better than a deep view hierarchy, which means less nesting is recommended, deep nesting is always avoided. So, is it possible to have nested layout, but we should avoid these kind of arrangement of controls. Now, we discuss how to arrange controls using layouts. We discuss different types of layout, but now what is input control? So, what we place inside this layout is a input control. So, input controls are the interactive component in your application user interface. We define layout for user interface, but inside this layout we place these input controls. So, Android provides wide variety of control such as buttons, text field, seek bar, checkbox, zoom button, toggle button, and many more controls are available that you can use to build your user interface. Now, adding an input control to your user interface is as simple as adding an XML element to your XML layout. We see in previous layout file example, there is a one text view and there is a one button that we specify inside XML file. Adding XML control is nothing but to add one more element into existing XML file. So, this is how we can add input control in our user interface. Next is a example of different types of input control. You can see in screen that there is a first control is button. So, button is a rectangle control with some caption and user can click on this. Next control is text field control. Whenever you move or touch your text field, it will shows you a cursor, and it also provides facility for autocomplete or predefined format input. So, text field is used to get data from the user. Next is a seek bar, then we have a check boxes which is a square and with tick sign, and round is a radio button which is used to show mutually exclusive item, which means at a time only one item can be selected. The difference between radio button and checkbox is that we can have multiple item checked in checkbox, while you can check only one item. Generally, you can select only one item from the radio button. Next is a toggle button which is used to show off or on position. On means it is active, off means it is not acting. So, toggle button is there. There are many other controls available for creating user interface, but these are some of the example of input controls that we will use to create our user interface. Now, let us look at in more detail at some common controls. So, first is a button. So, button can be pressed or clicked by the user to perform an action. For example, in simple calculator, we can enter two numbers, and by clicking on plus button, we can have sum of these two numbers. So, button can be pressed or clicked by the user, and when it pressed, we can perform some action. The next control is text field. So, text field is used to enter data, or it provides autocomplete suggestion to the user. So, related classes for text field are edit text and autocomplete text view, which is used to provide autocomplete suggestion, and for button we have button class there. Next is a checkbox. As I discussed earlier, it can be toggled either tick or untick, and it is a group of selectable options that are not mutually exclusive, which means at a time more than one option can be selected in a case of checkbox. So, for checkbox we have also checkbox class is there, and radio button, it is a round in shape and mutually exclusive. That means, at a time only one option can be selected from the list, and related classes for radio button is radio group and radio button. Now, what is radio group? Suppose I have one option for gender, for example, male and female. So, this can be considered as a one radio group, and we can have also another group which represent highest qualification, for example, graduate, postgraduate and doctoral. So, to select highest qualification, we have to select only one. So, for that we can use radio group, and we can have more than one radio button group is there. For example, gender and highest qualification are two different radio groups. So, these are the common controls. Next is a toggle button. As I mentioned earlier, toggle button is used to specify on off position. One position represent on, while another position indicates off. So, related classes for toggle button is also toggle button. A spinner. Spinner is similar to drop down list in other languages. So, it displays drop down list that allows user to select one value from a set, and we can fill this value from either database or array or at a design time also. So, spinner is a drop down list. Next is a picker. So, picker, as its name suggests, it is a dialog for user to select single value for set by using up down buttons or via swipe gesture. So, we have two types of pickers available in Android. One is date picker and another is time picker. Date picker allows you to select day, month and year from the predefined values, and time pickers allows you to select day, hour, minute, seconds and AM and PM. So, picker is used to select input in a up down manner from the user. So, next we discuss input listener. We have created user interface, we have placed all the controls on the layout, but now whenever user interacts with these control, it generates certain events. So, event is an action taken by user or the system. Within the various view class used to compose your layout, there are several public methods that called by the Android framework when the respective action occurs on that object. For example, when you click a button, it creates on click listener interface. So, interface is used to handle this event. So, when a view, for example, button is touched, the on touch event method is called on that object. So, we have discussed layout, then common controls, common input controls and what is event. In next session, we will discuss how to provide user interaction with these controls using event listener and event handling into user control. So, I hope you understand these three things. First is a layout, another is a input control and another is a event. So, we will discuss in next session more about event and how to handle these events. Hope you enjoy this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्याय टीवी